Hello everyone. So we, programming loser, we are going to present our program name Mousse, which we presented by Mark, Norman, and Keegan, which is me. And now I would like to invite Norman to share about objective and scope, as well as the advantage and disadvantage of Mousse.
So my name is Omar. So I will explain about objective and scopes. So first we'll know about the purpose of Mousse. So it acts as a function for a food delivery app between our users, food and drink industries. So it acts as a bridge between them. Also, those industry will allow the customer to select a multitude of food and beverages. So the customers can have multiple ranges of food to choose from. This will allow the vendor to prepare ranges of food and choices for the customers. So next is the progress scope. So here our scope is to allow the customer to order food anywhere, and both vendor and customer can easily interact with each other within the program. So the information for both vendor and customer are easily saved through the database inside the program. This is through the usage of SQL database to solve both the customer and vendor's data. So now we'll go on to the advantages of Mousse. So here they allow the easier communication between vendor and customer. So where you can accessible the data easily because it is very too easy to store and call for the data from the database. No external library was required because everything is stored locally. And this will also allow the easier inventory management because everything is stored locally. There are tons of customization that can be done by both the customer and the vendor. Next, we'll go on to the disadvantages of Mousse. So the disadvantages is the data is only stored locally. It's not through cloud. So next is there's no images as reference for customer. So customer won't able to see the real images of the food they will be able to receive. Next is the receipt required manual deletion. Next is long menu may create long lists when displayed on customers by screen because we don't have the system. We create a short listed receipt. Next is customer can only pay by cash. We will have the QR code ready in the future for the program. So next, we'll move on to the program overview.
So thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about our program overview, our next section, whereby I will be showing two things, which is how to add funds and order food or beverages as a customer, and adding item to a restaurant's to a menu and viewing said menu as a vendor. So this is the main file. So we just press F5 to start. Now I'm going to tell us log in and sign up. So let's sign up as a customer. So our username is, let's say, Mary Curie, password, and our location is Swinburne, Kuching, setting customers beta. Then once we finish the sign up, it's going to loop again from the beginning. And this time we're going to log in as Marie Curie. So we have to type our customer. It's a username Marie, password Curie. So once we log in as a customer, this is our customer menu whereby you can see all the restaurants. And if you want to, you can type N if you want to add a session or profile to see your profile. So before anything, let's add some cash to our wallet. So to do that, we have to type profile because we want to access our profile. And this is the customer's profile. There's a bunch of stuff we can do: change his name, password, location, and let's add funds. So just press number 1 and say I want to deposit 150 inside. So now I have 150. If it disappears, do not worry. this is not a bug, it's actually intentional. But for idle, it will just send it to the back. For other, like if you just click Python without running it as idle, running it as terminal, it will not be a bug. Trust. So let's see if we did add. So we press 5 to see our current funds. See, we have 150. So let's return to main menu. Now that we can order something, now that we can buy something, let's go to Zanmai. So we click once we type number 1, which is Zanmai, it's going to display all the food available in Zanmai and the beverages available. So let's say I want to order just one ramen. If you say no, it's going to loop again from the beginning, and let's say I want a yakitori as well. Let's end our order here. And it turns out I have enough to pay. So do I want to pay or not? If I say no, I'm just going to be sent back to the main menu. So let's say I say yes. Order complete, returning to main menu. So it looks like there's nothing happening much, but what happened is the restaurants, there's actually 2 receipts being created once this line order complete returning to menu has been outputted. So the first receipt, as you see, if you go to the customer file here, there's all these files filling with people's username, whereby this is where the receipts are. So let's see Marie's. You see here Marie's receipt has been received, and yes, this is Marie's receipt. So let's see the restaurant's receipts, because there's one sent to the customer and one sent to the affiliated restaurant. So the restaurant we ordered from just now, which is Zanmai. So let's see the order, and we see it's Marie. So yes, it's Marie. So that's for customers. So let's run it again, this time as a vendor. So let's sign up as a vendor. Let's say I'm Burger King and my password is Burger. My location is in Viva City, Kuching. Oh, Viva City Mall, Kuching. Really, it's up to you. So same thing, I'm going to log in again as Burger King. So the vendor's menu is very similar to the customer's menu, but this time it's catered to the vendor. So now let's show how to add item. So if you want to add item, just type 4 first. Ask if you're adding a food or a beverage. Let's say I'm adding a food. And let's say the name of my food is onion rings, for example. The price of the food is what? 370. And the amount of calories, let's say this only has 150. So it's going to insert that into the menu. So if you want to view the menu, just type 1 and it's going to show onion rings 370. And if you want to see the profile of the vendor, you can do that by typing in 7 and it will show and it works the same like the customer's menu, change username, password, location, view current profile, and return to main menu. So let's return to main menu by pressing 5. And we can end the program overview by clicking 8 end session. Yes. And I believe that is it for the program overview. Now I want to move on to the more specifics, the explanation of the code behind, and I will pass this on to Keegan to explain.
So thank you, Mark, for giving me the time to explain the code review. Next. Okay, SQLite database. We import the SQLite tree to connect with the SQLite tree database. So every data, whether the vendor or the customer insert into this program will be saved here. Next, now we jump to the login section. So as you can see, TYP is to determine whether you are a vendor or customer. So each user will given 3 attempts. If you are more than 3 attempts, this program will automatically go to the sign up, or the program will end. So move on to the sign up section. This is where a new vendor or new customer will going to do in this section. So whatever they put the data inside this program will be saved into the database and works for vendors and customer as well. Next, jump to the vendor's main menu. So this is, as you can see, this is vendor's main menu. There are variety of selections of functions. So let's say you want to view menu. So you enter the number 1. Just enter the number according to the number stated here to run its function respectively. Moving on to vendor's profile. So in this section, if you choose edit profile, yeah, you will enter into this section. So this one works similarly with main menu. You have variety of selections or functions. If just enter the number and it will specify its own function. Like number 1, you want to change username. Number 2, you want to change password. Just enter the number inside this program. So that's all for the vendor's profile. And now I'll let Mark to explain the menu selection page till the end of the slide.
Okay, thank you for giving me the time. Let's just move on to the menu selection page. Over here is where what the customer sees when they have already selected a restaurant, and this is their menu. So first things off, it will print the food and beverages of the menu, and then we will ask the user what to they to order, followed by the quantity. And the food and beverage they're ordering is case sensitive, so they have to write exactly as written in the menu. And if they do not write a quantity, we're just going to assume they ordered 1. The quantity is 1, so we append 1. Then we will have to check whether or not the food or beverage they ordered is within the menu. And we will be doing that with a method called chkipt. This is just a method that simply checks in the database whether or not the food or beverage they ordered exists within the database. If it does, then we'll move on to item cart.append. This line it basically just appends the food or beverage followed by the quantity as a list, and it will append it into the item cart, and the price will be totaled into the price will be added to the total. Then after that, we're gonna ask the user, do they want to continue ordering or not? If they want to continue ordering, they say they don't want to end their order, it will loop again until they decide to end their order. For clarification, it will loop from the beginning, which is the food and beverage menu and all that. But if they decided to end, then we'll move on to the cart section. So for the cart, it will simply just print all the items they bought, and it will calculate the total amount they have to pay, which is inclusive of 6% GST and 10% tax. If they have enough to pay, then we'll ask them if they like to pay or not. If they say yes, then we will just subtract from their total fundings, and then we will move to the last part, which is the receipt generation. Yes. Okay. So this receipt generation is simple. It just simply creates a receipt of what the recipient of the user's name, the date, time, the stuff they ordered, and the total amount they have to pay. And they will send this receipt to the customer's text file and the restaurant's text file as shown in the program overview. And then after that, it will just end. So move on to the final section, which is the ending. That's all. Thank you for watching.